battle over Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation has divided America, as we've just seen. Look, I would never say that political opponents should rot in hell, or whatever the phrase was that we just heard. But honestly, it is hard to maintain civility in the face of the way the Democratic Party has behaved over this. Joining Lisa and Richard, executive editor now of National Review, Reihan Salam. Reihan's got a brilliant book out, which we will be talking about later, I promise. It's a hot topic that you'll all be very interested in. But I'd love your take on all this, because you're such an astute commentator on matters of culture and so on. Where do you think this leaves us, this whole last few weeks?
I think it leaves Americans raw, angry, and more divided than ever. One of the ironies of the story, something that we haven't heard much talk about, is that Brett Kavanaugh is a conservative who flourished in liberal institutions. At Yale Law School, he is someone who had numerous Democrats come out and defend him early on in this process. He routinely hired as his law clerks liberal students, many of whom then praised him and worked to support his nomination to the Supreme Court. He is a conservative who is very much an establishment conservative, someone who is always working with folks across the aisle, trying to build bridges. When you think about his judicial philosophy, his conservative judicial philosophy is based on the idea that we must allow democratic legislatures to take the lead, not unelected administrative agencies. And what did he get? What did he get for actually trying to build bridges, for doing so much? He was literally hired as a lecturer at Harvard Law School by Elena Kagan, another Supreme Court justice who was appointed by Barack Obama. She hired him. She went out of her way to do that because she so respected him as a jurist, as a thinker. And then suddenly, someone who devoted so much of his life to building these bridges, this is where we find ourselves now. It is a really extraordinary testament. And when you look to Brett Kavanaugh's testimony, in a way, you see someone who said, enough is enough. I thought that I was someone who built genuine friendships. I thought I was someone who built and cultivated this trust with folks on the liberal left. And instead, you had this experience that for him must have been so searing. And you see this happening to many conservatives and Republicans right now. People who felt that we can bridge these divides, and now feeling as though perhaps that's not the case.
You really put it, well, you know, I had that feeling this week. Honestly, I'm one of those people. I had that feeling.
No, I mean, look, Steve, obviously, I'm mad, okay? I've been honest about this all week, and I think the only thing I agree with what Richard said is that this is about Merrick Garland, and for Democrats, this is about political retribution, and what disturbs me is that they're willing to drive someone's name and his family through the mud without zero evidence, without any corroborating evidence, and that doesn't matter to them because this is about politics. As I said before, Democrats were already against him before he was even named. What about due process? What about Brett Kavanaugh? What about his family? So I find it disturbing and despicable that Democrats are willing to do this. And don't try to pretend like Democrats haven't long engaged in the politics of personal destruction. The term borking comes from the Democratic Party and what they did to Robert Bork. So I've seen this in my own time working on campaigns, and the lengths and the depths that Democrats are willing to go to try to hurt someone politically. And we're talking about someone's life who has two young girls at home and a wife who he's had to explain this to. And the three stories that have been brought to the surface, there is zero corroborating evidence or not a single witness that has stepped forward to say that it's true.
Okay, Randall, again, the last word.
Professor Blasey Ford also has a family.
Yes.
And I think...
well, why is she in the spotlight? Precisely because of what the Democrats did. That's a ridiculous point.
But we can have this
That's a ridiculous point. The reason that Dr. Ford was there and her family had to suffer was the choice of the Democrats. So don't you bring that up.
Wait a minute. Let me make the point.
They could have made it private.
Let me make the point.
They could have handled all this privately.
And you have every reason to be angry. Lisa has every reason.
Dr. Ford has every reason to be angry with your party.
Can I finish? Can I finish, please? Both of you guys have reasons to be angry because it is a job.
Dr. Ford has every reason to be angry with your party.
You guys have every reason to be angry because you guys are opinionators. We have had 113 different Supreme Court justices go through this process and make it. And not one, not even Clarence Thomas, invoked politics as much as Brett Kavanaugh did in this.
In response to what happened to him.
Yes, but in response to what happened to Clarence Thomas, he didn't even invoke politics. The Supreme Court has been, should be, and should continue to be above political reproach.
Oh my God, how can you even say that?
No matter who's in charge of the Senate, no matter who's in charge of the House, and no matter what the political rancor is.
It's not even worth having a discussion when it's so
the middle of America.
That's a ridiculous thing to say.
That is where the middle of America is. That is why Brett Kavanaugh's approval rating is as low as it possibly could be.
You're not interested in the
that's the
middle
reason
of
why the problem isn't with Democrats.
Look,
the problem is with two Senate Republicans.
Democrats were saying in response to Martha's interview with Brett Kavanaugh that he wasn't indignant enough. He needed to be more mad. He seemed like he was guilty. And then now, because he is angry, because the Democrat Party has dragged his name through the mud, baselessly for that matter, without any evidence. It doesn't matter. You dragged his name.
No. We've got to have to go. I'm sorry. We're out of time.
Whether or not Democrats do it or not.
No time. Sorry, Richard.